Well, shifting gears now to health news. Childhood obesity can lead to serious problems later in life. Obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. It's almost impossible to talk about one without the other. Carolina Impact's Danielle Koser explains the importance of developing healthy habits at a young age.
Nice.
They're only 4 and 7 years old. But Graham and Nolan are already training to become all-season athletes, shooting hoops and scoring goals.
Play soccer and run around and play with the dogs.
3, 2, 1, go!
When it comes to exercise, it's all hands on deck for the Elkins family.
Oh, Graham with the sliding finish! For us, being outside in the yard is our favorite place to be because we're really together and we're having some fun, healthy competition, but also working as a team.
For this busy mom, staying active isn't just about staying in shape.
Here it comes. Take a shot. So it gives us more energy to stay focused for our work. It gives us more energy to be with the kids, and involving the kids in the activity is just so great for our family to spend time together.
She hopes an active lifestyle, combined with a healthy diet,
Bananas, grapes, strawberries, blueberries,
will help keep her kids from becoming a statistic. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, obesity affects more than 12 million children and adolescents.
So about 1 in 3 will qualify as overweight or obese.
Data shows obese children are more likely to have risk factors for cardiovascular disease, such as high cholesterol or high blood pressure.
There's no question about it. The most common cause I see of high blood pressure is a person who's overweight. Hey, good afternoon, Cameron. How are you doing today?
Dr. Ann Walker has worked as a pediatrician for nearly 30 years. During that time, childhood obesity has more than doubled in children and quadrupled in adolescents, according to the CDC.
It's huge. We like to say it's ballooned significantly.
Dr. Walker starts monitoring her patients' blood pressure and screening their cholesterol at age 2, before most kids are even potty trained.
So we're looking at cardiac health prevention in primary care from as young as we can actually effectively look at that person.
But cholesterol screening in kids is somewhat controversial. Earlier this year, the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force released a report saying there's not clear evidence to support screening children and adolescents for high cholesterol.
But when you actually try to look at the data and see, are we saving lives by screening for cholesterol, that's a tough thing to prove.
Dr. Matthew Brothers, a pediatric cardiologist, says families should adopt a heart-healthy lifestyle.
Dietary changes, regular exercise, routine checkups with the primary doctor.
The American Heart Association offers 6 simple steps to help you get started. Find free time for activities. Make time in your schedule to get moving as a family. Make a weekly meal plan and stick to it. Simplify your family's schedule so you can have more time for the things that matter. Take baby steps. You don't have to change everything at once. Work as a team and encourage kids to help prepare healthy meals. And parents and caregivers should live by example.
We've always tried to model good, healthy behavior, and I think for us it's all about balance. So we're definitely a household that indulges in treats and good food when it's appropriate, but we also are all really active. We exercise almost daily. Oh, good move, good move.
What we try to talk about is that this isn't just the child's condition. The child doesn't buy the groceries, the child doesn't make those decisions for the house. It's a family, it's a community thing.
It's empowering parents, trying to undercut the enabling.
According to the CDC, obese children are more likely to become obese adults, which can lead to serious health problems like diabetes and heart disease.
If you start younger, then we are worried that we'll see more and more young heart disease in their 30s and 40s.
Pediatricians play a big role in their patients' health, educating kids and equipping families with the knowledge they need to help fight childhood obesity. For Carolina Impact, I'm Danielle Koser reporting.
Thanks so much, Danielle. If you want to know how to figure out if your child is overweight, first, you need to calculate their body mass index, or BMI. You can do this using a simple online calculator, and we've posted one just for you at pbscharlotte.org. Well, joining me now is Dr. Mark Higdon, a primary care physician with Novant Health. Dr. Higdon, thanks so much for your time. We so appreciate it.
It's good to be here, Amy. Thank you.
Help us understand, when we start out and our kids already have challenges if they're overweight as children, I would suspect the odds of them being overweight as adults is probably a lot higher.
Absolutely, and of course childhood obesity is becoming essentially an epidemic now. It's something that pretty simple to overcome if we could just get our teenagers off of the video games. I'm the father of 3 sons, 14, 16, and 18, and one of the biggest things, we want to get them outside and playing. There's several things right now, 60 minutes of exercise each day, and that's something to start with each one of your children.
So by the time then we get them to adulthood, let's talk about some of the things. Can we really reverse pre-diabetes or diabetes?
You know, there's a fair amount of evidence, and when you consider that there's 30 million or 10 million diabetics in the United States, about 80+ million pre-diabetics, which are in that stage just before we have to start treating for diabetes, it's certainly something that we would want to do. Diet, losing about 10% of your body weight. If you weigh 200 pounds, that's 20 pounds, is something we would want to do. We want to make sure that we modify our diet. And everyone wants to know, they say, what's the best diet out there? One that I can recommend. You know, there's no secret diet. Research will show that. One that's good is a Mediterranean diet where we decrease the amount of meats that we eat. We increase plant foods. We replace our butter with either canola oil or olive oil. We make sure that we eat fish and chicken at least 2 times a day, or 2 times a week. And we also make sure that we get our exercise. And exercise is one of the biggest ways that we can prevent diabetes and other diseases such as cardiovascular disease. Recommend about 150 minutes of exercise each week, 30-minute periods of what we call moderate activity. That's basically a hard walk. You can also do 75 minutes if you like to work out a little harder, and that's a pretty brisk jog. Do that for 25 minutes 3 times a week, and you're getting the 75 minutes that we recommend.
So 75 minutes a week. We do get a little break from the fact when we were kids it was an hour a day.
Indeed, and of course this is adult exercise, but for the children it's mainly just getting them outside, and they'll find things to do. Certainly a playground, any organized sporting activity far exceeds the exercise that they would need. So those are good places to start, and certainly our schools have some great athletic programs.
And when we talk about that pre-diabetes and diabetes, the reason we're so focused on it and so concerned is that it really leads to a lot of other chronic diseases. Absolutely.
Diabetes can be a devastating illness because of the things that it is associated with. Cardiovascular disease, which is heart attack and stroke, and most everyone is affected by that. My family is affected by diabetes. Also, diabetes has the potential to cause blindness. It's a leading cause of amputations. It's a leading cause of kidney disease and kidney failure in the United States. And so it's certainly something that we want to focus on with trying to reduce, if not eliminate.
What's the #1 tip that you would want people to understand if they could just do one thing to improve their long-term health? What would it be?
Eat more plants.
Eat more plants. Do we have to give up our meat in general?
You know, you don't have to give up meat, but you want to do that in moderation. And certainly there are recommendations out there to drastically reduce. And it's the way we prepare our meat a lot of times that is part of the problem. A lot of fried foods and things like that increase the fat content. And so we want to try to avoid that every time that we can. Go into the grocery store, basically pick those foods that are very colorful, and that'll be a good way to start. We used to I was in the service, and we would talk about sleep, activity, and nutrition being the things that we wanted to focus on, and certainly that's true here now.
So I guess the real answer is that we are empowered. We can control our health. It's up to us.
We choose what we put in our mouth, and certainly that would be a true statement. So.
Great information, Dr. Mark Higdon, primary care physician with Novant Health. Thanks so much for spending time with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Amy.
Well,